What's up, guys? I'm out here today in a random warehouse parking lot, and today I'm going to be going over my Nissan 350Z 06. So let's get into it. I guess to start off, we'll do some of the major cosmetic stuff that you can see right off the bat. The body kit was KBD. I know a lot of drift people are against KBD sometimes because it's cheap. It just is what it is. But I think for me, this is so. Let me just actually first go into the goal of this build. This is gonna be, right now it's my daily, but eventually this is gonna be a full-blown track drift car. So for me, the KBD was kind of an obvious pick because I can run it hard at the track, and if I hit something, my fiberglass bumper isn't going to shatter into a million pieces. It'll just bend and go back to what it was. So I honestly really like the KBD stuff. I read a bunch of reviews before I bought it, and everybody was like, oh, the fitment is terrible, the quality is terrible, but I had nothing to complain about. It was pretty easy to put on for a first timer. I had never done a body kit before, and it took me a weekend, but it's because we didn't do it right. And I think once I had some advice from somebody that knew what they were doing, it was so much easier. You may or may not know them, but RMK Design are the rims. They're just like a rep rim brand, but I think they look pretty good. I really liked a 3-spoke design. I really wanted Heritage Wheel has this new 3-spoke design that they did in collaboration with a Formula Drift driver, and I thought those were the sickest wheels ever, but these turned out to be $500 cheaper, and I still really love the 5-spoke design, so I went with these. I did spray paint one of the spokes. A lot of people are like, oh, you put tape on the spokes. No, it's spray paint. I did it pretty cleanly. I'm pretty proud of that. Because a lot of the competition cars have it for judging. Because if you pull your handbrake, the judges need to be able to see that you're on the handbrake. So it's required that you have a painted rim or a painted spoke. I don't know. It's something small, but I think it helps out with the overall appearance of the car. So the rear wing, I'll get some close-ups later. But it's a Nismo style rear wing. It's not the typical Nismo. It's the JDM Nismo style, because they didn't introduce the 350Z Nismo in the US until 2007. And this car is an 06. So in Japan, they had, I think the first year they did the Nismo was 2005, and it was completely different to the Nismo that a lot of people imagine when you say 350Z Nismo. And this was the wing that was on those early JDM Nismo models. I think when I first got the car and it was on stock rims, no body kit, I really kind of didn't like it because from the back, it looks very kind of flat and I don't know, but I think the rims and the body kit really make it pop, and it made me start to, really like it. And I don't think I'll take it off anytime soon or switch it out for a different one because A, money, and B, this thing has seam sealer on it, so it would be a pain to take off. But other than that, the car, the body-wise, it was in really mint condition when I got it. The taillights are amazing. I think those are aftermarket. They don't look stock. The headlights were a little foggy, but I did a little defog, and they're better. They're still not perfect, but I don't have $300 to blow on some headlights. The toe strap I was looking at online, and I was like, dang, I really want a toe strap because I just think I'm trying to go for green accents on the car, and I just thought, oh, they look really cool on the Z. That's what I want to do. But they were $50 online, and then you had to get the bolt that goes with it. But I went out to Formula Drift Atlanta, and the Drift HQ booth was out there, and they had them for like $15. So that was like really a steal. It's an NRG, just a green NRG toe strap. It's nothing crazy. I took the badge off of my old bumper and threw that on the KBD, because I see a lot of guys run the KBD kit with no badge, and I think it's just kind of, it's so-so. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a look at the back. Yeah, so obviously what sticks out is the KBD and the rims. The KBD kit, a lot of people do like 3M tape, like double-sided tape under here, and I don't know, I just wasn't like, that didn't sound sturdy to me. So I went ahead and put, I think these are just like drywall screws. Like, I really should rivet it, but it's not, I think they look, you know, it just is what it is. It doesn't bother me that much, so I don't think I'll, if I have a weekend, maybe I'll rivet them. But yeah, so that's what I was talking about with the rear wing, and how the body kit and the rims really helped to like bring it out and make it pop more. But yeah, I personally, this has always been a favorite car of mine since I was like 7 or 8, and I just really love the look of these and like the body curve, and it has the same roof line as a GTR.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
And you know, who doesn't like a GTR? So yeah, I couldn't be happier with the way the rear looks, other than maybe if I wrapped the body kit, but you know, when the money's there, maybe. Next up is going to be the interior. Sorry if I'm in the way at all. I'm just trying to, because my door hinges have been worn, so the door doesn't like to stay open on its own. Interior wise though, all I've really done so far is the wheel. It took me 12 hours because somebody had put thread locker in the bolt that goes like in the side to the airbag.
It was an Alaskan bullworm!
If you've ever done it, like, you would know which bolt I'm talking about. But it was a really weird placed bolt, and somebody had put thread locker on it. So eventually what I had to do was literally just like kind of saw the wheel out. Like, I had to saw out the bracket that was holding that bolt and like the whole airbag assembly, and rip that out so that I could get, you know, the stock wheel off. And in the process, we broke the clock spring, which led to a lot of problems. If you ever decide to take your wheel off and change it out in any car, not just the 350s, please make sure that you have your clock spring lined up, because mine broke and I had to suffer through, let me think. So first of all, it triggered the ABS. For some reason, your clock spring is the decider of your ABS. So when I would start it up and I would start to go, I would be in first or second, just like leaving the parking spot or leaving my parking space, if that makes sense. It would only be when I was like first starting up and first moving, but the ABS would randomly trigger and the brakes would just lock up, and it would like, I'd be driving, the rear brakes, like one of them would just lock up randomly. So it really wasn't a good situation. Among other things, like it just messed with the computer totally, and you just don't want to do it. Just don't break your clock spring. So once I had that figured out, I had to take the hub, the wheel, and everything off and reinstall the clock spring. The clock spring really wasn't that hard, but it looks like super complicated if you ever try and do one. I wouldn't recommend it. Just do it right the first time, and you don't have to do it twice. Do it right or do it twice. Is that the saying? I don't know. But anyways, it's a Bridgemoto wheel. I really like the green accents on this car. So I went with the green suede wheel, which is a bold choice. And sometimes I regret it because the suede can get really dirty and really hard to clean. But overall, I think it looks really good. And then I went with the, if you ever have to get like a hub, like a steering hub, I didn't cheap out on mine and get the Amazon one. I could have, but I went ahead and got the hub and the cruise control thing from Steering Solutions because this is my daily. And I take the highway to school. I've driven this thing from Atlanta to Florida multiple times, so the cruise control is like a must for me. So I got the little bracket that goes on here, and you take the cruise control module from the stock wheel and throw that on there. And it honestly doesn't look too bad. I really wanted to mount it like here rather than dead center on the top, but just the way the bracket's lined up, couldn't do it. But that's the wheel. I think, it's a really good like feel when you're driving, and I really think the look of it is nice. Then obviously the shift knob sticks out a lot. It's Grip Royal does like custom shift knobs. It's like $100. It's a lot of money, but I really couldn't find like a good green shift knob anywhere, and that was a really good option for me. And they feel great, and they do well in the heat. Like with it being a resin product, you might expect that sitting in the Georgia sun it might have some problems or whatever, but it does great. I've never had any issues with it, and it feels great. Yeah, I think that might be it on the interior. In some coming videos, we'll be doing a full interior on this thing, like seats, harnesses, probably door cards, because I have to do harnesses to get on track, and there's no point doing harnesses if you're not going to do seats. So that'll be a coming video. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I guess that might be closer to like November time frame, but so moving on to the engine bay. It's mostly stock. Like, I'll be honest, it's not the craziest 350Z engine build you've ever seen. But yeah, it's an 06, so it has the DE rev up. So it's not a normal DE. It burns a little more oil, but it makes maybe like 10 horsepower more. It's nothing like, I didn't go out and search for a rev up, but it just happened to be a good deal. And yeah, let's see. So obviously there's a Z1 intake, cold air intake. This thing looks really nice and it performs really nice. I'm a big fan of Z1. If you ever want to sponsor me. But
Did you eat a tree for right here? Hell no. Alright.
Z1, great products. They're local to Georgia, so I can order stuff and have it shipped out like to me within a day or two. They are a little expensive sometimes, but you get what you pay for, and they are really quality products. I've never had a bad Z1 product. So Z1 plenum spacer, that went on. I had some trouble with getting that mounted the right way at first, but eventually I had to take it on and off a couple times, but I got it eventually, and it performs really nicely. Obviously Z1, I already said the intake, right? When I got the car, it had a code for the camshaft position sensor. Really common thing on these cars, but I had to change out 2 or 3 of those, maybe 2, I think, because I have 2 left over just sitting in the garage. And then other than that, down here, I think I'll get a video if I can, but I have the Z1 oil cooler. It's decently stock. It's nothing to brag about. I think it looks pretty good though. I took the engine cover off because I heard it just traps a lot of heat. But I'm just getting it track ready, doing the small cooling mods that I have to do. So yeah, I think that's it for today's video. Obviously, you know, this is a pretty lazy video. Like, I could have come up with something probably a little better to watch, because I know this maybe doesn't apply to everybody. You don't want to look at my Z, but I was really worried about the storage in the back, because this is my daily, and I wasn't sure, you know, would I have the space to get everything I need. And honestly, if you're looking for a daily and you want just like a cool car, highly, highly, highly recommend, because the back space is like massive. It's like way more than you would expect. But yeah, I love this car. We've got a lot coming on this thing. Like, I think this weekend, Evan's coming up from Valdosta, and we're going to weld the differential, change the diff bushings, and I think that's all we're doing back there. But that's going to be a big video, so be sure to check that out when that comes out next week. And then I think that weekend we'll also be camping and off-roading. I'm sure we'll make a video out of that. And then we're going to go see a Sublime concert, because we're big Sublime fans. So, but yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this was a little upgrade from our previous videos and kind of the quality we were putting out, because I know it wasn't great. So yeah.